What is up, bros and broettes? I'm Inkslasher, and today I'm going to be answering the question, how good is the FFAR assault rifle? Now, this weapon is a brand new weapon to Call of Duty Black Ops 3. It's received through supply drops, and as you guys know, we've talked about over the past few days, there's now weapon brabs and yada yada yada. We talked about all of that, but this weapon is actually brought back from a past Call of Duty. It was the FAMAS in Black Ops 1, and now we have seen a FAMAS in other Call of Duty games, including something like Modern Warfare 2. This rendition is 100% the version from Black Ops 1. It looks like it, feels a little bit like it. The only differences I would say is there's a little bit more recoil with this weapon, and it's not quite as good as the one from Black Ops 1. If you played Black Ops 1 and you remember the FAMAS from that game, it was like the go-to weapon for like all the pros and all of that. It was very, very good. But today we're going to be talking about what are the stats for this weapon, how good is it exactly, like on a scale of 1 to 10, is it overpowered, that kind of thing, and then finally a best class setup. And that's probably the most important part of this video, because every single video I've seen for a best class setup I 100% disagree with, and you'll see why throughout the video. But without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start talking about the stats for this weapon. So first things first, let's go ahead and start off by looking at the damage. As always, we always start with the damage because it's one of the most important stats. Now, the damage profile for this weapon is one we've seen many times before. We've seen it on the M8A7, the ICR1, and the HVK30. It's 30 damage up close, 29 at mid-range, and 22 at extreme long range. However, this weapon is more like the ICR1 and the HVK30 because of the ranges. So with this weapon, you are looking at always a 4 to a 5 bullet kill, and it drops off at exactly 50 meters, 50. So this weapon's damage profile is pretty much one of the worst in the game. Like those weapons, the ICR1 and the HVK30, have the worst damage profile, so this one is right among that. The reason being, with this weapon, it actually works out that most of the assault rifles either have a 2, 3, or a 4 bullet kill. Not many of them have actually a 5 bullet kill. In fact, the only ones are the HVK30, the ICR1, and the M8A7. So that 5 bullet kill is the worst stat on this weapon. However, it's made up in an extremely important way. That way, it would be the rate of fire. Now, the rate of fire on this weapon is godly. It is one of the best rates of fire in the game. It is the best rate of fire in the game for an assault rifle, and that's 800 RPM. That's better than every single assault rifle. In fact, there's only 3 SMGs, yes, SMGs, that have a better fire rate than this weapon. Those SMGs are the Pharaoh, the Vesper, and the VMP. All the other SMGs have a worse fire rate than this assault rifle, which is absolutely insane. So what does this mean? This means that the time to kill, if accurate on this weapon, is extremely good because of that fast fire rate. Now, that being said, this weapon does have a lot of view kick. It kicks all over the place, but we're going to talk about a best class setup later and to kind of counteract that, and it is controllable. It's a lot of recoil, but it is controllable. But that's kind of like the worst part of this weapon, is it has this awesome time to kill. It's just hard to use this awesome time to kill because of it. And pro Call of Duty players are going to be extremely good with this weapon, because any weapon that has a fast time to kill that they can control that recoil extremely well, they will do extremely well with. Now, this gets interesting when we look at the nitty-gritty stats, and the nitty-gritty stats are just kind of little things. So the first one we can look at is magazine size. It's a 30-round magazine. This is almost exactly the same as every other assault rifle in the game. So there's really nothing special to look at there. Another one we can look at, we can always look at the reload speed and the aim down sights time. So the reload speed for this weapon when there is bullets still in the magazine is 2.5 seconds. This is the worst reload speed out of any of the assault rifles. 2.5 seconds is the longest reload speed, and it's actually a really long time. You'll notice in game it feels like you're reloading forever, and if the magazine is empty, it's 3.2 seconds. Now, like I said, another stat we can look at is the aim down sights time. Now, guess what? The aim down sights time is 0.3 seconds. 0.3 seconds is the worst out of any of the assault rifles. So all of a sudden this gun is getting worse. And again, if we look at the hip spread, the minimum hip spread is 3 inches, which is actually one of the least out of all the assault rifles. However, the maximum is 8 inches, which is the most out of any of the assault rifles. So that's kind of middle of the road, because when you're not moving, it's one of the best. When you are moving, it's one of the worst. Hard to compare there, but overall, it's not great, because most of the time in this game, guess what? You are moving or you're shooting, so that means your hip spread's going to be larger than every other hip spread in the game. So the nitty-gritty stats on this weapon really aren't that good, but but this weapon is still really good, and it's well balanced in my opinion, because if they took away any of the recoil, if they had it so you could aim down sights faster, this weapon will be unfairly good. It would be too good, because this weapon has an extremely fast time to kill, and the fact that it has a lot of view kick, the fact that it has all these other bad things makes it more even. Because remember, this is basically essentially just a better version of the HVK, as long as you can control the other stats, because the fire rate is better on the FFAR with the same damage profile, which means it's a faster time to kill than the HVK 30 and the ICR 1. So it's a better version of those two weapons in my opinion, even though there's more recoil. So how do we get rid of this recoil? How do we set up a best class setup to make this weapon as good as possible? And it's all based on attachments. There's 2 attachments in my opinion are incredibly needed, and the third one is kind of up to you. The first attachment that's 100% needed is a grip. The grip is so insanely important on this weapon. I can't tell you. Try using this weapon without a grip and then try using it with a grip. It makes a massive difference, and that's the first thing, your first step to controlling that recoil. The second attachment that's extremely important is fast mags. This weapon, especially if you're a rusher, if you're not a rusher, if you kind of stay back with this weapon, which is actually hard to do, we'll talk about that in a second, but if you stay back with this weapon, you don't really need fast mags, because they're not going to be getting a gunfight after gunfight after gunfight. But if you're a rusher like myself, you like getting in all these gunfights, fast mags is 100% needed. And then finally, I run a quick draw grip, because like I said, it has the worst aim down sights time out of any of the assault rifles. The only other one that has the same aim down sights time is the Man O' War. Now, the important part with this class, to me, is that you almost want to use this weapon more like an SMG, because this weapon, most of its stats are more like an SMG. The lower damage profile, the faster fire rate. And when you're getting in gunfights with this weapon, you're going to notice when you're at extreme long range, you're always going to want to burst fire, because there is a lot of recoil on this weapon. So just shooting 2 to 3 bullets at a time and then just feathering that trigger so it's not shooting up into the sky when you try to shoot at someone is extremely important. Now, to answer the question, how good is this weapon? Is it the best weapon in the game? No. I was getting outgunned by KN-44s and Man of Wars a lot, even at short range with this fast fire rate. They were outgunning me simply because they have a really good damage profile. I was also getting outgunned by Vespers, Pharaohs. It's not the best gun in the game, but it's really good. In fact, I think it's one of the best assault rifles. I think the only 2 that are arguably better than it are the KN-44, M8, and possibly the Man O' War, so I guess 3. There's a couple SMGs, the Kuda, the VMP, those might be a little bit better than it, but it's definitely in the top 10 guns in the game, and that's really nice to see, because I have it. If you don't have it, I'm sorry. Let me know down in the comment section below if you have this weapon. Is it overpowered though? I wouldn't say so, even though it has an incredibly good time to kill. It's a really good weapon. I'm not going to lie to you. It's really good, but those nitty-gritty stats are really what screw with you. That extra view kick, that extra aim down sights time, the extra reload time, they really screw with you, and I noticed myself getting killed a lot when I was reloading, or even just getting caught aiming down sights. The person would kill me faster because they were on target faster. So just those little things that make this weapon balanced, and it's really interesting to see how they do that weapon balance in this game. So like I said, you're going to want to use a grip, you're going to want to probably use a fast mag, and probably want to use a quick draw. Other attachments that are actually kind of decent on this one include the stock, the long barrel, and finally rapid fire. Why are these good? Well, the stock is good because it makes you stray fire. Stray fire helps you outgun people. It makes it so you can aim down sights around corners. All that fabulous stuff we've talked about the stock before. Secondly, the long barrel. The long barrel actually extends that 4-bullet range just a little bit. I think it's better on other weapons, but it's actually pretty good on this one. Definitely one you probably want to check out. And finally, rapid fire. Rapid fire takes this weapon from an 800 RPM to an 852 RPM, which is actually a pretty big deal. Like I've said before, the weapons you want to use rapid fire on are the ones that already have a fast fire rate or burst fire weapons. Those are the really good ones to use it on. I don't like it on this weapon, however, because I find it adds too much recoil to a weapon that already has a lot of recoil. I think other attachments are better. Like I said, you probably want to stick with grip, quick draw grip, and fast mags. I think that's the best class you can come up with, and then a stock in there or a long barrel in there are the next best ones. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Out of 10, I would give this weapon a solid 7. It's a 7. It's up there, top 10 weapons. It's a really good weapon. Definitely want to check it out if you have it. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. I upload new videos every single day of the week. And hit that like button if you made it this far in the video. I love every single one of you except for Craig. Fuck Craig. And until next time, peace out.